You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Sponsored by Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
Well, now you're missing, well, now you're thinking. You've got to open your eyes and open your mind. Think and what you'll find.
Welcome. Oh, God, I enjoyed that. I feel like I've been cleansed.
Wow.
Sort of musical colonic irrigation.
Actually, you're not the only one, Frank, because Rob Fellows says, great start to the show, I just smashed my kitchen up.
Well, I feel great about that. Let's hope the family aren't cowering in the corner. Oh, what about... When I was playing that, our producer, Emma, said, oh, that's proper throttle.
Oh, did she?
Mm. She might have been talking about my rather prominent Adam's apple.
No, she hangs out with truckers a lot, Frank.
Yeah, she's got that look about her, the leather boots and all that. Still, you know, I'm in leather boots in a rock and roll way. I don't mean nothing. Not those ones that come up like Jack Sparrows, like Sally James used to wear.
Yeah, thigh-high waders.
I don't like those. Ridiculous. So, anyway, welcome, and I'm with Emily and Gareth.
Good morning.
Frank.
And, yes, really picked me... I should say that was a random hand with Find What's Out There. Random Hand, which I think was Richard Key's nickname at Sky Sports.
Sounds like their guitar playing technique as well.
Oh, does it, Mr. I Like Blur? No, let's copy people that were around in the 60s. Yes. So, well, tremendous news this morning. I'm wearing a singlet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't never wear a singlet. Someone gave me one. I'm going to show it. Look, there it is.
Unbutton, why don't you?
Yeah, I wore a cherub vest when I was about 4, but I don't think I've worn one since then.
Why have you gone for the singlet?
Well, I can't tell you, because something happened to me yesterday which left me a little sore.
Me too. Me too, but anyway, on with the
Yeah,
story.
well, let's not go into that. It's because you are a singlet. Singlet would be quite a nice name for someone who hasn't got a partner, wouldn't it?
It's done already, I love it.
Isn't that...
You're very clever.
Okay, marvellous. Or unless if Natalie Portman became single, well, of course she'd be a signet.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, God, I'm absolutely on fire this morning. Can you smell that? Oh, no, it's the control desk. Help. If you want to text us, we're on 8 12 15. We always are. And we have new listeners arriving every moment nowadays.
Do we?
Yeah, some of them hang around for, 3 or 4 minutes?
Yeah,
it's nice.
That's quite long for me. So tell me about the singlet.
Oh, don't put yourself down.
Well, tell me about the singlet, though. Tell me more.
Well, I can't tell you more now, so I
Okay.
have to give away what happened.
Oh, okay.
I thought I was going to save it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you now if you like.
Okay.
Do you want to know?
That's okay.
Okay. Don't get sulky.
Oh, I like the building suspense.
It's a
That's
teasing,
good.
so then
it's very
people will
good.
think, oh, I want to hang around for that bit.
Oh, why is Frank wearing that vest?
Yeah.
People are gripped.
I didn't say it was a vest, I said it was a singlet. A vest, I think, sounds a bit common. Can you still get a string vest?
Oh, very much so.
Yeah,
Can you? I mean, to be worn underneath rather than to be worn on Strictly Come Dancing. I mean,
Oh, I see what you mean. No, they're more of a fashion look. They're not often worn under shirts these days, but you're still doing it. I like you for that.
yeah, I don't like that.
Big fashion news, string vests out.
I sort of associate them with violence.
Yes,
at
I
home.
know what you're going to say. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, let's brighten things up. Although I've had terrible news this morning. Poirot has been pulled.
Oh, no.
Poirot's been pulled. I'm going to write a sort of Bob Dylan. Poirot's been pulled. Broken my heart. Poirot's been pulled. I'm falling apart. I miss his moustache and his accent so fine. Poirot's been pulled and I'm losing my mind. Can you believe I just made that up? You can. Many people can. People are not
If it was a
quibbling.
different kind of show, I'd want to give you a round of applause.
I'm glad
it
you
was
didn't.
so good.
I'm glad for that. It just fell off me like windfall fruit falling from a tree. And some of it was a bit brown and squidgy, I think you'll have noticed. Now, I knew the lady, well, I still know the lady who did makeup for David Suchet.
Oh, well, how long does it take to put a false moustache on?
Well, I think there was other stuff, but that was the main. She used to have to. Dad had like a special travelling case, like a flight case, for Poirot's moustache, and she'd try it on him, you know, in its various. Try a few on him. I think there was a few of them. It was like Skippy. I think there was 12 Skippies. They used to travel them in knotted sacks in the backs of vans. Cruel in those. You couldn't get away with it nowadays. They have to have 2 keepers for Poirot's moustache. But anyway, you had to try a few on him, and it was a sort of sushi and see approach.
Oh.
And at the end of the last run, he gave her an enormous moustache. Like
he?
about 4 foot across.
Horrible present.
Yeah. No, but it was like it was made out of card, and he'd signed it and all that. Thank you for looking after my moustache.
Very self-referential,
generous.
isn't it?
I think it's a beautiful story.
Well, apparently he only speaks in a French accent, doesn't he, on set?
Is
I
that
don't know
right?
how well he can speak French, so it's just the accent.
Yeah.
But if he goes to the catering truck, he says, I will have the amanji. I mean, you can't talk to him in normal
Really?
voice.
Oh
It's
no,
for the
I
method.
can't cope with that.
No.
People, that method stuff.
No?
No, I find that a bit.
Frank, we've had quite a good text in. Frank, if Natalie Portman wore a singlet, would it be a swan vesta?
You know, I love this crowd.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
I went out on Tuesday night.
Oh, did you? Where did you go?
Had a lovely night. I went to 17 Gough Square in the City of London, just off Fleet Street. Some of you may have heard of Fleet Street. It's associated with the newspaper business.
Yeah.
And it's where Samuel Johnson, the great 18th century writer, used to live. It's where he actually wrote the dictionary that he's quite famous for.
Nice house, is it?
It's lovely, yeah, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of stairs. You know, the 18th century, they didn't go across, they went up.
No, they didn't have bungalows.
No, not like some people who aren't too far away from us, Gareth.
Bungalow Bill over there.
Yeah, bungalow.
Bungalow. Deal
Have
with
you
it.
received the bungalow bill yet? Yes,
Bungalow Bill? What is he?
Bungalow.
A cowboy? What is
Have you
it?
not heard the bungalow?
No,
Hey, bungalow Bill, what did you kill? Bungalow Bay, bungalow. You haven't heard of that? It's the Beatles.
Is it the Beatles? Oh, right.
He only
Yeah.
likes Blur.
It was either the Beatles or Stan Boardman. You were guessing from that. And what's the chance of it? There'll be no Boardmania on this show.
No.
Boardmania would have been the album title, obviously, if he would have.
Can I now do a Sex and the City? Meanwhile, over at Dr. Johnson.
Yes. So it was. It was a play. There was a play called A Cup of Tea with Dr. Johnson. It was two people. One of them, Ian Redford, superbly independent, playing Dr. Johnson, and the other one, Russell Barr, winning the Independent.
Wow.
Winning. Yeah, that's what they said about him. And there was a special appearance by Trudy Styler.
Oh, Sting's wife.
Yeah, proficient. The Telegraph. Not so good. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, and it was fabulous. And they featured Dr. Johnson had a famous cat. Well, it wasn't. He's become famous since. Called Hodge, who we used to feed him oysters. And the cat was played by a Jack Russell Terrier,
Wow.
which I wasn't sure about.
Why did they go so ridiculously off menu?
Well, I think one of the, as they say in Korea, one of the actors in it,
Yeah.
it was his dog, and I suppose he likes to travel with his dog. But and there was one point.
Hang on, Frank. There's lots of things I like to travel with, but I wouldn't just include them in a performance. That's
Yeah, but where are you going to
unreasonable.
put a dog for an hour and a quarter?
That's right. Was it a method acting dog? Because that's a way to get an Oscar, to like do a part that's really different from yourself. So a dog playing a cat, I
It's
mean,
true.
that would really get you.
Well, he was like David Suchet. He would only meow for an hour before the performance. No, he did wee though. He did wee on the floor during the performance, which was
What,
I
the
don't think-
actor?
No,
dear.
I don't think it was in the script. It just it did that terrible. Also, it's a female dog, so they don't even do that quite. You know that sort of cheeky leg cocking thing, which I find quite nice. But the terrible tense squat, the terrible tension in the back muscle, the tendons of the legs, and that look at they stretch their neck upwards. Why do they do that? I mean, why do they have to move their head in a? It's like they have to form like some terrible banana shape. Anyway, it did that, and Kat said she was too upset to enjoy the rest of the play after that.
Oh, no.
Kat's my girlfriend. She was worried about spores in the air.
Oh, I understand. Oh, she's quite a germ-free.
I don't know if you've ever inhaled a dog urine spore. But I must say, it gets on your chest. Anyway, I went down the stairs. I enjoyed the play very much.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Dr. Johnson fan, as you may know. And afterwards, I met with some people downstairs, and we were talking, and something happened to me, which almost never happens to me in life, right? And my manager's coming.
The producer just signalled as if to say, "Get out."
Well, yeah, get a chair, it's my manager! Okay, yeah, what happened was I was in conversation with 2 or 3 people downstairs, and suddenly there was a silence. Now, whenever there's a silence in a conversation, my inclination is to fill it. You know,
you always fill it, Frank.
I do.
You do.
I couldn't think. I just couldn't think of anything. And the silence, I could feel it. It was like a big stone on my chest. This sign, I imagine that's what hell will be like. You'll all be sitting round and just not able to think of anything, just looking at each other. And the tension, I couldn't breathe. I tensed up like the wean dog. Do you know the wean dog? It's that pub in Notting Hill. I was in there only the other night. They got squatters, apparently. Yeah, it was terrible. It really upset me. I was traumatised. So I thought, I must ask Gareth how to cope with that.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
What are you laughing at?
Just had a text in from someone, Frank.
Well, don't be so surprised. What, on 8:12:15?
Who is the strange person sat in the window you can see on the webcam who looks like the Fonz?
Strange person sat in the window, looks like the Fonz, but there's no one there. Oh no, that's how it starts. One of these things. It's like when Captain Scott got photographed, and there was some other dead explorers in the.
There you go.
I think he was dead when he got photographed. They were all dead. It's a whole photo of dead people at the Antarctic. If you've ever seen that picture, but who is it?
I don't know. I think it might be your manager. He does have a leather jacket.
Yeah, he does have a leather jacket.
There's
And,
something of the 50s about him.
he has meetings in his toilet. So
Oh, does he?
yeah,
Does he say, see you in my office?
he says
You might want to leave it a while.
He says that quite a lot. I wish he wouldn't say that. It makes me unnerved. By the way, I should say that Trudy Styler was very good in that part. I was a bit unkind.
Oh, good.
Very good. Very ethereal. Thin. Very thin.
Oh, she's lovely and thin.
She is lovely and thin. I say lovely and thin. She looked like a woman who's... Well, I suppose if you have the sexuals for 8 hours at a time, you're going to lose weight.
Oh, God.
And she's like vapour.
Frank, there's also been a text in from someone who's called themselves Watford.
Okay.
Perhaps you're wearing a singlet because the policeman that stopped you last week said you're under a vest. Oh,
Well, that's absolutely top notch from Watford. That'll be from Sir Elton John. That's my guess. He's always there with a fashion-based pun. Sir Elton, I find. Do you think Galliano's phoned him up? You know how celebrities phone him up when they're in distress.
When in need, that's who you call,
Yeah,
isn't it?
he is. He's the new Marge Proops. He's got the glasses and everything. Oh, Google her. So, I had speaking of ghostly things, which we were there for a second.
Elton John, he's still alive, isn't he?
Oh, have you not heard?
Oh.
No, that he's still alive. If there's any fans at home suddenly got into a panic, he's never been more alive. He's bursting with energy. And fertile, apparently. Great news. Because I think we've all wondered over the years. So anyway, I was at home, and I was in the kitchen, and I noticed what I can only describe as a ghostly image on one of the walls. It was sort of, it looked like a strange, smoky fountain type thing, and I couldn't see a face, but there was a hint of sort of Head and Shoulders in it. I don't mean the well-known shampoo. I mean, a silhouette of a figure.
Like ectoplasm.
Yeah, a bit like ectoplasm. Turned out I couldn't work out what it was, and then it occurred to me it was exactly the area of the kitchen that I'd been pancake tossing the night before.
Oh.
It was actually eggtoplasm. And what I hadn't realised is, it never occurred to me that there's cooking fat and bits of stuff and that flying off, and it's taken a bit of shifting. I'll be honest with you, and it makes me wonder about the whole thing, the Loch Ness monster and all that. It's probably I looked it up. I just had a look. That most of those things, Bigfoot, Abominable Snowman, Loch Ness Monster,
Yeti.
That's big.
Is that the
isn't
Abominable
that's the
Snowman?
Abominable
That's the
Snowman.
same one.
Yeah, he's got 2 names. I don't know why. I think he found the Abominable Snowman was a bit much on the driving licence.
The Beast of Bodmin.
Beast of Bodmin, yeah, all those, they all appear round about Shrove Tuesday.
They do.
Yeah, they do, and I think
all
the whole
pancake based.
they all come from random tossing. That's my theory. And not only that, it did occur to me that I never thought, there's hot, fat and that. What about, say, if I had a child, which I don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I had a child and maybe I was trying to entertain it, and it's sitting there in a high chair, and I thought, what I'll do, and I'll toss some pancakes here, to make it giggle. The whole thing would have been covered with hot fat and batter within a matter of seconds, and I'd have had. There's no more. I've never seen any warnings about that. Or
I
anything
don't
else
think you're
that's
supposed
safe.
to use. That sounds like you're using a lot of. Are you deep frying your pancakes? Have you got them in a chip pan?
I put them in the chip pan. Yeah, I think you can get 15 at a time.
It's gone a bit Scottish.
I have them 4.5 inches thick. That's all right, isn't it? What was that? Is that a chaffin?
That's Dr. Johnson's cat.
Oh, thank you.
Always squatting.
Played by a chaffinch. In this evening's production, Dr. Johnson's Cat Hodge will be played by a chaffinch. Oh, Kroger. Oh, I was looking forward to the Jack Russell Terrier with its terrible squat, its terrible tense squat. I don't know if you've ever been in a tense squat, but the arguments about socialism.
This is Frank Skinner
Absolute.
Radio.
Frank, could you hold your horses right there, please?
Oh, my horse is what?
Because we've had a good email in. Text in, I'm sorry, not email. Frank, perhaps you should tile your kitchen wall to cover the stain and prevent further problems. Sting's wife should be able to recommend someone. Trudy's Tyler. Trudy's Tyler.
I'm loving it.
Anonymous again. Why are the good ones always anonymous?
Anonymous
That's
is
my
on-
motto
is on an
anyway.
absolute roll. If you want to text us, it's 8 12 15, and we'd very much love to hear from you. I did. I tell you what, I did this. I bought me a pair of desert boots.
Oh, yeah. They're looking-
Everybody help me out, so me get me clocks. Everybody help me out, so me get me clocks. So me get me clock. And I was when I come to put them on, they had 2 large wads of tissue paper in keeping them.
Oh, yeah.
In shape.
Giving them shape.
Well, I don't know if I told you, but I've been to my physiotherapist recently because I had a bit of a shoulder pain. So she gave me some shoulder exercises to do. So I thought, what I'll do, I'll take these 2 wads of tissue paper, put them under my shirt, go downstairs and say to my girlfriend, hey, guess what? I think those shoulder exercises are starting to work. Right? As you would. Who wouldn't in that situation? It was a gift.
Yeah.
And it was also made me feel a bit decadent. Because when I was a child, any tissue that came in papers, in wrapped around shoes or even around tangerines, went straight into the toilet. We used it all as toilet paper.
Wow.
So to actually use it for a practical joke felt like I'd finally arrived.
Yeah.
Oh, you're living the high life.
Yeah, so I think that you are doing well when you can put tissue paper from your shoes in the bin and not think, oh, really, I should put that on that nail in the toilet. So, what I did was I put it under my shirt. I went down and I said to my girlfriend, those, hey, because I'd set her up earlier in the week.
Yeah.
I'd pulled my sleeve right down over my hand and just held an aubergine in my hand and said, oh no, I've shut my finger in the door. Not much of a reaction then. And when I said the shoulders thing, she went, yeah, funny. And walked out the room. I mean, she was on the way out the room anyway. And I thought, And I think this is the thing about a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
It's not the sexuals that go down the hill, it's the practicals. Because I think there's a law of diminishing returns with the practical jokes. Is that she'd have laughed her head off at that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now she just looks at me like I'm some kind of a fool.
You do a lot of practical jokes.
Well, what's the point of having a partner if you can't do practical jokes?
I once went round to yours and you put a wig in the bed.
I know, that
Why
didn't
did
go.
you do that?
That didn't go at all well.
Well, she thought someone had left it there.
I know. Well, it was a ridiculous
You put a blonde
blonde
wig in the
nylon
bed.
wig. And I put it in the bed, and I thought, she'll think it's some kind of a, like a Yorkshire Terrier, maybe a West Highland Terrier. And she opened, and I thought...
It wasn't. It was very children's TV presenter that week.
It was curly blonde,
Yeah.
and I thought, a bit like Auntie Jean Morton, who used to be the Tinger and Tucker show.
Yeah.
So,
I'll Google it.
yeah, do it. So I put it in the bed as a bit of a practical joke, and she never... I was waiting for the shriek or the laugh, never mentioned it. Never mentioned it. And eventually, after I said, how come you haven't mentioned that wig? And she said, oh, I thought someone had left it there accidentally, you didn't know about it. What? I took a woman back in a curly blonde nylon wig. I say woman. I mean, who knows? And they left without it. No one noticed anything strange. How could that possibly be? Anyway, that's what happened. So, yeah. So I'll tell you what. What about this then? What about if anyone did any practical jokes that went wrong that they want to share with us?
Oh, I've got plenty.
They can text us on 8 12 15. If my ex-wife calls in about our marriage, I shall be absolutely offended. So what about that? I say, so what about that?
Well, I've got plenty, Frank.
I've heard that.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What else?
Frank, we've got some practical jokes, which I'm loving.
Okay.
Practical jokes gone wrong.
We asked for, on 8 12 15, we asked for, practical jokes that went wrong.
We've had one in from Wiggy. Is Wiggy the cousin? As teenagers...
Wiggy, didn't I sleep with her once?
As teenagers, mock abduction of my cousin Wiggy, which sounds rather worrying. And there is a mention of roadblocks across Sussex.
I think we can safely say that went wrong. What is it? Is it a really long one?
No, there's just... I need to reread it. But it says 3 hours later, I think there might have been arrests involved as well.
My goodness, 6 of us arrested.
Yeah.
We've
had one from Danny in London. I once pretended to trip someone up at the top of a flight of stairs, but I moved my foot away too late and she went head over heels all the way down. Everyone around me just thought I was evil and actually meant to trip her up.
That is... I hope she's all right.
Yeah.
Funny now, obviously, in retrospect, but not if she broke her back.
This is from 719. Frank, on our
719.
On our honeymoon, my
Your
wife...
old adversary, 719.
Yeah, you'll be in the recreation yard this time of the morning.
On our honeymoon, my wife left the room to get some feta cheese. Don't ask why.
Don't ask why.
Oh,
maybe?
no.
Yeah.
I've misread that. To get some feta cheese. Don't ask why, then I placed...
No, maybe it's some feta cheese, full stop. Don't ask why, full stop.
That's what I thought it was
then the
first
new
time.
sentence
It needs some
starts.
punctuation. I put some punctuation in.
Practical grammar with Absolute Radio. Okay, let's
Start again.
Okay, then I
No,
placed...
sorry.
So, okay. Frank, on our honeymoon, my wife left the room to get some feta cheese. Don't ask. Why? No, don't ask why.
Come on.
Then I placed a white sheet over my head, ghost style, waiting on her return. As she entered the room, I jumped out in a ghost style. She hit me. Who said romance is dead?
You've killed that story. It's actually a very funny story.
Tony.
Ghosted the story now.
Tony has texted in.
Is that on their honeymoon, did you say?
Yeah.
See, I love that. I love that on a honeymoon a bloke would still do a ghost. Or did you say jumped out ghost style?
He sounds a bit like you. That's something you do.
Yeah, definitely. What's
Yeah.
the point of honeymoons nowadays? I mean, all the magic's gone. I think they're only really for practical jokes abroad. That's what they're about. So you can use foreign things. You can get them out the room with feta cheese instead of coming up with some other more domestic excuse.
When I was younger, me and my sister did a practical joke on some parents' friends, and some parents' friends, my parents' friends, and we put some chocolate chip cookies. We had a plastic one from the joke shop because we love the joke shop.
Oh yeah, the joke.
We put it on the plate when it was tea, Frank. We had afternoon tea. That was tea and biscuits, not tea. And he went to eat it. Imagine our excitement when he grabbed the plastic one and he put it in. He took a bite. He went, "Oh, my joke!"
Oh no!
Oh no! We got chastised. We got reprimanded. And Frank, you've had a text in from Tony. Hi, when I was younger, I once recreated the shower scene on my then girlfriend with a banana.
Shower scene from Psycho?
Yeah.
Thank God it was that shower scene. I thought it was that video David Baddiel had. Carry on. And she was terrified.
She was hysterical for about 5 minutes, but then,
God.
but then she was an actress.
Ah, well.
Well, there you go.
Well, it wasn't Janet Leigh, was
I
it?
don't know.
Probably had a terrible flashback. I wouldn't be surprised. I held someone in a paternoster once. I think we'll leave it there. Do you know what a paternoster is?
It sounds quite. That's something to do with the clergy.
Well, it's what they. I believe it's Our Father, isn't it, in Latin? But
Right.
and because you say it's like rosary beads.
Yeah.
Right, stick with me. There's a lift. There's a type of lift, and they call it because it's sort of like rosary beads in that it's circular.
Okay.
And you have to. It's perpetual. There are no doors on it. You have to jump in when it goes past, and then it goes to the top and goes round and comes down in the other shaft. Are you with me? 2 doors. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And like a circular thing with wooden compartments on it. That's a paternoster. So anyway, that wasn't a practical joke. One day I got in the wrong paternoster. I meant to get in the one going down. I got in the one going up, and it went up, and it goes up into like where the machinery is. And then it shuffles along at the top, so there's all these big wheels and cables, and then you come back down again. So I thought, God, that'd be a funny thing to keep someone in.
Yeah.
Because there used to be a rumour that when they got to the top, they just went into flat packs and spun round. So I thought, if somebody could... So anyway, this woman got in, and we got to the... I said, have you ever been over the top in a paternoster? Well, you cannot... I mean, I could have been misunderstood the way she looked at me. Anyway, I grabbed her sleeve, and we went over the top. And apparently with the weight of 2 people, and it's a slightly different experience, and it just stuck. It completely stuck in total darkness. And she started really punching me on the chest, going, what have you done? What have you done? Well, I mean, I don't think any woman had done that to me for probably 2 weeks. And we were in there for about 45 minutes. And she was absolute. By the end of it, I mean, she was having palpitations, and she couldn't breathe. And we were up to our neck in excrement. It was a nightmarish experience all round. But I feel now that I'm free of it, that I've finally told people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We only have this excerpt. This is Frank Skinner.
Absolute
Radio.
We've had a lovely text from Craig.
On 81215?
Yes.
Oh, you don't get many Craigs these days, do you? You don't really?
No.
No.
It was Craig Johnson who invented the Predator boot. But I don't know if you'd call him nowadays.
No.
Carry on.
Morning all, I've just woken from the strangest dream. One that I've had every night since Wednesday. On Wednesday evening I served Frank his sparkling water at the press night production of Blythe Spirit.
Rock and roll.
I was enthralled, The Guardian.
Could this be possible?
Yes, I was at Blythe Spirit.
Sounds like it could, right.
Oh, Alison Steadman in the Margaret Rutherford role. I'll be loving you always. That's all you need to know.
In the dream, Frank is force-feeding me bar snacks.
No, that never happened.
My fiancée has been woken twice by me shouting, "No, Frank, you can't fit any more in."
Oh, that has been made up.
Don't you believe it?
To be deliberately coarse. It's all gone a bit Mrs. Brown's Boys. Have you seen Mrs. Brown's Boys? That late night sitcom thing?
No.
It's been really slagged off for being crude and old.
Is it a man
before
dressed
the
up
war.
as a lady?
It is. I have to say, I watched it. I loved it.
Is it?
So wrong. So wrong, it's right. You know what I...
Frank, you've been spotted again. Don't panic.
Okay.
It's okay. This is from Liz Kelly.
Was I with Avram Grant on an industrial estate?
Liz Kelly, now and again we catch a glimpse of you at the West Brom matches on the telly, and you look rather dapper, which is not how I imagined you given all the laughs around your sartorial choices. Liz Kelly.
Well, that's... I don't think of myself as especially dapper at the...
Well, no, nor does Adam Stevens, who tweeted in.
What's going on? It's an avalanche.
Who said, Frank Skinner, this is a spotted thing, Frank Skinner trying on a coat. It didn't suit him.
Oh, I bought it.
That's not the coat you're wearing. You brought in.
Well, I tried on 2 coats that day.
Okay, the one you've got, I think, looks rather nice on you. It's very sort of gamekeeper, isn't it? I quite
There's
like
an
it.
element of gamekeeper about it.
Waxy.
Yes, that's what they call me. But it's the ears thing. But I tried on, for the first time ever, I tried on a trench coat.
For length trench?
A beige trench coat, which I think are quite sort of... Are they fashionable? You'd know.
Very much so.
Yeah, well, I tried it on. I look like a gay Columbo. My husband's a big fan of yours. I mean, I think he died before the civil partnership came into California, because he's gone out of California now. But yeah, so that was a mistake. So if he'd seen me in that, he was right.
Belted?
He would have been if I'd have caught him. But how could I have known he was going to send that text? So yeah, it was belted, and I couldn't decide what to do with the belt. It's such a decision with a trench coat. Do you leave it knotted at the back?
Well,
do you buckle it?
Why don't you ask me? I'll tell you exactly what you do.
If you're going to say you knot it in a single bow, you can shut your mouth. So I did that, and that really did put the icing on the fairy cake.
There's no bows about it. You take it out of the loops, yeah? Whip it out the loops, and then tie it twice. It's not a bow, there's no bow, but you tie it tight round, accentuate your lovely waist.
No. I could not. I cannot tolerate a disused loop on a garment. You know what I mean? I'll put on trousers that are very tight on me that don't need a belt, but I have to wear a belt because I can't cope with a disused loop.
Oh, it's your waist not, want not.
It is, though. I have sometimes thought, well, if I'm going out somewhere where I might want to change my clothes, I could use each loop for a coat hanger thing. I could have a shirt, pair of trousers just hanging around my waist. I've never done it. It's been a pipe dream. No more than that.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. Working towards a mintier world with Treebor Soft Mints.
Absolute Radio.
That was the fall. We're breaking the rules. I think I'll play that especially for my girlfriend Kath, her sister Rachel and their mum Sandy, who are in Cirencester having a bit of a weekend break.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they're actually filming Macbeth, obviously. They're there for the opening scene.
It's a spring break. That's what MTV would call it.
Is it a spring?
Hope they don't get up to those antics, is all I'm saying.
Is it not a bit early for a spring break?
No, but that's what it's called.
Okay, fair enough. What else?
Well, actually, can I just say Paul from Widnes had nothing like the slurred tones of Marquis Smith in the morning to get me smiling. So there you go.
He's from Widnes, though, so he has a spiritual link.
What's Widnes?
It's sort of Lancashire
fine.
Place.
Okay.
And we've had a practical joke gone wrong.
Actually, Trudy Steiner was a bit short on Widnes. Oh, no, that was wideness. So thin.
From 340, I wore a scaly, clawed, hairy werewolf hand to bed with my wife.
Is this Richard Keys? And I can't get either of them off. Sorry.
To see if she would notice. I started getting amorous, and not only did she not notice anything was different, but seemed to be more receptive than usual. I've since brought the whole costume. Well, that's a practical.
Hold on, he's
gone right. He's bought the whole costume.
He's bought the whole costume there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really pleased for them. Whatever works for you.
Well, you say you're pleased from. It's hardly a scene of domestic bliss, is it? Man dressed as werewolf. No.
No, that would be terrible, obviously.
Don't like it. Young kids say don't like it.
I like Frank, Ashley in Crystal Palace. Dear Emily, Gareth and Frank, in the 80s, my dad and his mate got drunk. Oh, he sounds nice. And decided to paint his girlfriend's car pink and yellow with a psychedelic sunshine roof. She wouldn't speak to him for nearly a week. The worst thing was it was the car we went to school in. And we had to be dropped off in a side street half a mile from school as we were teenaged and ashamed.
Who's Ashley from Crystal Palace? I hope it's not Ashley Cole.
Well, exactly.
You wouldn't want him in a Crystal Palace with that air rifle.
Paul says it's in Cheshire, please, not Lancs.
Oh, sorry.
Widnes.
Sorry, everyone.
Cheshire.
Sorry, everyone in Widnes. Say everyone in Widnes. There's only one person listening, I should think. Let's find out. That's this week's phoning. How many people in Widnes? Can I get a witness?
I'm surprised they can bear witness.
I'm liking it. It's a religious element. Did you see? Did you actually witness? Did you witness? Did you witness the Matt Baker, David Cameron thing on the One Show?
Oh,
yeah.
It's on my Sky Plus, never to be deleted.
That's good.
I love it. I loved it.
Is there any chance at all? In case you don't know, at the end of Matt Baker and Alex Jones, they're the One Show regular crew now, aren't they?
Oh, they're regular.
And they haven't had a scandal for nearly 3 weeks, so they thought they'd throw one in. And they interviewed David Cameron, and at the end of it, after a typical One show, when they talked about the name of the cat at number 10 Downing Street and all that, and showed some of those nasty colour photocopies that haven't been properly glued on the board pictures.
Oh, you don't like those, do you?
I hate those.
Yeah.
They then, at the end of it, Matt Baker said to David Cameron, "So how do you sleep at night?"
Yeah. Well,
And
he did it like
it
he
was
said it
quite a
went, just one more thing. Just one more. It was a bit Columbo, wasn't it?
It was a bit Columbo.
Just one more thing. And then, he said, how on earth? Which I thought might have been the giveaway he might have meant it.
Yes.
What do you think?
I hope he meant it.
I 100% think he meant it.
Really?
Like, I really do.
You said it like you love him.
I do love him. I think he's brilliant.
I've often wondered how David Cameron sleeps at night, because his face is so smooth and shiny. I think it wouldn't stick to a pillow. It'd constantly slide off.
And he needs to wake up for a feed as well.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, he looks like a baby.
Do you think?
Like a
Oh,
baby.
he always looks like he's just shaved that mini. He's got that sort of
He thought I was implying he was a vampire or
smoothness.
something.
I didn't know what you meant. And when I was at Blythe Spirit the other night, Craig Revel Horwood was about 4 rows ahead of me, and there was a time when I looked at him in the stage light, there was not a wrinkle in him.
No.
He looked like, when they used to blow up a pig's bladder to play football in the medieval times.
Yeah.
Well, he looked like he had one of them sitting on top of his cravat. He may have. He may have taken his head off at the second half, who knows.
But this whole thing, Frank, has made Matt Baker more, I don't know, a bit more attractive somehow. He was a bit shouldn't but would.
Was he?
Yeah,
he's
he was a bit.
I think he's a good looking
He's a
man,
hero.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. I think what gives it away is how shocked Alex Jones was that she fully gasps and looks horrified. It's really funny.
You honestly think that he took the opportunity to say
she
that?
looks appalled. She looks like he said the worst, most terrible. Because why would he stop? Like, it's all wound up. So, oh, lovely to have you here. Really forced. Oh, it's been so lovely. Just one more thing. How on earth can you sleep at night? Like, I've fully, out of nowhere.
But I could have, if I'd have been Cameron, I'd have said, hold on, you work on the show regularly with Giles Brandreth. How do you sleep at night? That's what I'd have said. That's what these people need.
Frank, we've had a text in.
Is
My
it from
favourite-
Giles Brandreth?
No.
I heard your rather nasty remark.
Shut your face! Carry on.
My favourite practical joke is setting off alarms deliberately. Love from, do you know who it's from?
I think I can probably guess who it's
It's from A.E. Houseman.
That is so sly. I can scarcely believe it. What's worried about that is because it's a bit nicer today, we're doing the show with the window open, and 3 old age pensioners have just run down the street in absolute look of terror on their faces. I hope we haven't caused any problemos.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we do have people listening in Widnes, and
That's
it does
great
sort of
news.
exist.
It's true. Ian says, hi, Frank, Emily and Gareth. I'm listening in Widnes. Holton View, to be more specific.
And Brian
Geographical
says,
information.
I'm not in Widnes, but I am listening as part of a witness protection programme.
Well, I mean, I think he's picked up our witness thing and he's run away with it.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I need to explain the singlet,
I think you do as well.
because I'm wearing a singlet and people are, the whole world's wondering
People have
why.
a right to know.
Yeah, they do.
It's a bit Bronsonian.
It is a bit. It's Charles Bronson, I think. In fact, both Charles Bronsons, I think. Both the original and our own British,
Friend of the show.
yeah, fiend of the show. I've told you that before. They both wear one. Yeah, the reason is I got waxed yesterday by Denise Van Outen.
Outen.
Let's call the whole thing blonde. And, yes, because my crisps, they sold well.
Did they?
They
Well,
said
your manager's here. How
They
did
said
they
to me,
sell well?
they said they sold very, but it was a bit like, the Blue Peter competition. There's a very high standard of entry. You're all winners. It was like that.
Oh, how patronising.
Yes, but I think I don't think I'm giving anything away to say that. Well, I won't say who the others were, but anyway, I was not the winner.
Okay.
And let's just say Stephen Fry wasn't there.
Oh.
I think he was supposed to be, but he was on a ferry at the last minute.
I've been a silly old fool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he could go at any moment. It is. It's like having a canary in the house.
Billy.
You leave the cage door open, he's gone. Anyway, so I'd never been waxed before in my life, and
how did you find it?
Well, it did. There was some blood.
Oh dear.
There was. She did both legs.
Okay.
She did my chest.
Yeah.
That which I choose to call my chest. She did.
Did she have a good technique, do you
She
think?
had a rubbish technique. At the end of it
Yeah.
all, I was so red when she did an enormous one on my chest, the size of a football, and she ripped it off, and it was, it hurt. And my chest was, I looked like, if you can imagine, I looked like a big robin.
Yes.
I
can see that.
A big red
breast.
I had a red breast, and she said at the end of it all, she said, "Oh, I think I was supposed to put like powder on before I put the wax on."
Yes, of course you are.
Well, she hadn't have done that.
She didn't put the dry
She
stuff
hadn't have
on.
done that. Shut up your face. So, and then she even did. She went.
Was there no one overseeing this process? It's highly irregular.
Well, there was a lady there, but she wasn't actually in the room when it happened. She told me that she said, "Usually," said, "I only do the she said, "I only do the ladies, and I do downstairs." I said, "What, you got a dungeon?" She said, "No, I mean the downstairs." I said, "How many of those?" She said, "I do sometimes 25 in a day."
Oh.
Well, I mean, after a while.
I guess that's quite quick, isn't it? I guess it doesn't...
I'm just nervous at where this is going.
I'm not even going to talk about it.
No, exactly.
So where did she disappear to? Old
Oh, well,
25 in a day? Was she off? I go to ferry now with Stephen.
No, I think he was long gone. But anyway, so she did it. At first, she put the wax on me, which was actually quite pleasant. It was like honey. And I thought, wouldn't this be a fabulous practical joke if it was honey, and they covered my genitals in them, and then opened the cupboard, say, full of bees? I mean, we'd have laughed about it after.
Or released a bear.
Or a bear.
That would have been good as
Yeah.
well.
Yes. And he was just running through the many meanings of bear. So, they love the honey.
It's one of my favourite words, actually.
But she did go. She went a lot lower than I anticipated.
Oh, they always do.
No, but she went into places like you wouldn't think Denise Van Outen would ever go.
Really?
You wouldn't have thought she would go there.
No, and then when she did that, she did. There was an element of downstairs to it, but only half of the downstairs. Only the left-hand side of the downstairs is gone. Right. The right hand is still there.
That's no good.
It looks like my genitals are peering around a curtain. If you can imagine. So like they're about to come on, like a bit nervous, just checking out the house at a matinee. If you can imagine such a thing, if you can, I can only apologise. If you can't, think yourself damn lucky. And I didn't. Someone said to me, you should take some painkillers before.
Yeah, good idea. I do that sometimes.
Yes, but I thought that I wanted the full experience. I wanted to know what it was like, and so I thought there should have been random drug testing. So I think I have an idea that Jimmy Carr might have. But anyway,
his face.
Jimmy Carr and Al Murray, they only had one shin done each.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So I think she was exhausted after she did me. Yeah, honestly, there was pieces coming out of me like, when they rip up a divot on a golf course. There was whole hacking lumps of flesh coming off of me when she took the thing up. No powder, I remind you, ladies. So it was harrowing in many ways. And then it turns out, what about this? It's not. It's almost certainly not going to be on Red Nose
Why
Day
not?
show because
Too offensive.
no, I think
Sounds
that
quite explicit.
Yeah.
I think Comic Relief it's going to be on some website. All that pain for a website.
Oh,
dear.
the internet's very big nowadays.
Yes,
There'll be,
but-
But excuse me,
not like
I have to
anything.
get that done every week and it's not shown anywhere.
Well, that's what you think. Have you not seen the studio cam version? I told you not get it done in here, but no, you would want your own way. So my view is this. I think walkers, that was always the thing, I think walkers should sue the backside off of Comic Relief. I mean, clean them out. All their funds gone.
Wax the backside of Comic Relief.
Wouldn't that be brilliant, though? A really vicious court. Oh, you're taking Comic Relief to the cleaners! Oh, how brilliant.
This is Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Bit of a shock this week.
Yeah.
I know, you know, I'm a bit of a cooking expert.
Oh, yeah.
I had a cooking problem this week.
Oh, yeah?
I was making dinner. I started off. It was pancake day, but I started off. It was very successfully. I made meatballs with pasta.
Okay.
And it was very good. I grilled the meatballs, put the spaghetti on, made the sauce.
Grilled the meatballs?
Yeah, grilled the meatballs first.
Oh, okay.
Outside of the sauce.
Highly
Because they break
irregular.
up. They break up. And my wife Laura is lactose intolerant. She won't have the lactose.
What is lactose, exactly? It's in milk, is it?
Sort
Yeah.
of like a sugar, isn't it? I think. Yeah, makes her stomach very bad. So what I did is
So it is in milk, though?
yeah, it's in milk. That's
Okay,
right. Yes.
right.
So I made the pancakes with soya milk.
Oh, sounds vile.
Yeah, that was a terrible mistake.
Was it?
Like, soya milk should have a warning on it saying, do not make pancakes with this.
I think some of it does.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't read
Well,
the
you got the
carton,
wrong. I
to be
mean,
honest.
if you went local brand, was it my mum's side milk?
Trust me, Frank, he went local brand.
Of course he did. Yeah.
It did not, it was a very reputable brand.
So
One of
did
the
it-
big ones.
So did it coagulate? Was that the problem?
No, the problem...
I'm sensing a coagulation anecdote.
Oh, yeah.
No, what was odd is that they took quite a lot longer to cook than you would expect. Because I think the soy was resisting the heat.
Did you get the chip pan absolutely very, I mean, as hot as it would go?
I love Frank's common pancakes. You should market them.
Sort
I
of
also
like
think
poppadoms, they sound like.
if you've ever seen cow excrement,
Oh,
there's something about cow excrement that says
yeah.
you should use some part of this animal in making pancakes. It's a hint from nature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry, I've got that frog in my throat
Yeah.
thing. I'm gonna have to. Better.
Dear.
Next,
So it's because sweetened soy milk has kind of a condensed milk sort of taste.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah. It's a bit weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I like about it.
I am partial. No, no, I don't like
The
it.
pancakes look quite normal, but the consistency was of rubber, thin rubber that you could bite through, and they tasted horrible. Laura said they were the worst
What's the
pancakes
thin
they
rubber
had
that you
ever
can
had.
bite?
Worst ever.
Worst ever pancakes you'd ever had.
That's not a review
They
you
were,
want.
they were terrible.
No.
Really awful.
Okay, I'll get the picture.
Did you give Ethan pancakes?
No, Ethan was asleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we
He's soya fume intolerant. Apparently. Well, that's what I did is I asked my PA to get some lemons.
You did not.
I
You
did.
I bet you did.
I did, as it was Shrove Tuesday, and then I thought, she's forgot the lemons, so I made 2 pancakes.
She got keys to the house then, the PA?
Oh God, yes.
Has she?
Yeah. How else would she lay my clothes out for the morning? So so I did 2 non-lemon pancakes. And then I discovered that the lemons were there after all. So I had to put all the lemon I would have put on the first 2 all on the 3. The third one made my face go like Helen Worth from Coronation Street when I had that one. And but I thought when it
need
gets
to do
down,
that.
well, I thought it'll all mix. They'll sort it out amongst themselves once they get down there.
not the way food works.
Well, that's what you say. It is in our house.
Frank on
Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Chelsea Dagger, Fratellis.
I like Nick from Hastings said it's just like being at the darts.
I liked that's generally true of this show.
Yeah, very much. Frank, we've also had a text in from Richie in Taunton.
Was any event hit harder by the smoking ban than the darts? I don't think it was. Sorry.
Richie in Taunton. Hi Frank, my girlfriend Charlene reckons she saw you going into a tattoo shop about 2 weeks ago. Is this true? Did you get a tattoo?
Yes, it's just Poirot's moustache, and it says R.I.P. underneath. It's right across my back, like wings, like enormous bat wings.
Did Denise Van Outen try and wax it off?
Yeah.
Unsuccessfully.
No, she didn't, funnily enough. I never showed her my back.
Oh.
You have to back out the room like with the Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, is it? It's a shame.
No, I didn't.
Nice to see the back of you.
That was the wrong. That wasn't me.
Oh yes. Big news. There may be very soon a new World's Shortest Man.
Oh
Yeah.
We always keep an eye on that, don't we?
Well, I think it's in a way the world's shortest men are friends of the show. You can imagine them on a very small chain gang.
Yeah.
John Ray Ballowing from he's a Filipino.
Ray Bellowing, ooh, John Ray Bellowing.
When I was
He is the Limbo King. Well, he would be the Limbo King. That's what they should do. Can you make a living as the world's shortest man? Is there any money in it?
Oh, yeah, Kagendra Tapamaga made a fortune, I would imagine.
Is that right?
Yeah.
getting stuff out from under cabinets for people, things like that.
But
No,
there
just
is-
in
I don't-
personal appearances, open Summerfield, that kind of thing.
What, on a ladder?
Limbo dancing competitions.
Yeah, that was,
all
if
sorts.
there was a pro limbo, I think you'd be in with a shout.
Yes, so he's 18 in June, he's currently 17 and 56 centimetres tall.
And
So as long as he doesn't... So he's currently 11 centimetres taller than the current smallest man. So as
shorter,
long-
you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as long as he doesn't shoot up 11 centimetres...
Yeah.
Well, he might do.
Yeah, no.
It depends what happens to him. Well, that's it.
great.
I see. How tall
I'm a
is
bit
Ethan?
Well, I measured him. Like I got Lord to measure him last night.
How old is he now?
because
About a
he's,
year and a half?
He's about he's 22 months.
22 months, okay.
So he is 80 centimetres.
What's that?
So
He's taller than the world's
so
shortest
he's
man.
like nearly 20 over 20 centimetres taller. He's blown it. Completely blown it.
Really?
Well, there's still a chance for the world's tallest.
Yeah,
don't give up yet.
true.
Yeah, I think well, that's...
I feel sorry for Kagendra Tapamaga because he's only actually got another couple of months then. He's going to go crazy.
I don't feel sorry for him. The world's an upskirt, let's face it. In that line of work. What I'd do is I'd get a jacket with a big handle on the back. And
Would you?
just to tempt people, see if I could get carried about a bit.
Yeah, or like a little like abseiling rope that you could hook onto people's belt loops.
Yeah.
Be very
Wow,
good for
yeah.
people wore a map.
I
That's
mean,
a good use for your
we're
belt loops.
assuming that they're happy.
Frank.
Pardon?
Well, he looks very happy. This
Well,
guy.
he is, and in
looks
fact,
delighted.
John Ray Ballowing's mother, Concepcione, 35, says he loves it when I tell him he's going to be the smallest man in the world. He smiles with pride. That's what Concepcion said.
Yeah. When you said Conception 35, I thought it was got a lot of details about the genesis of Bandara Batwing.
Yeah.
Is that what he's called?
No, John Ray Ballowing.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was something like that. Oh, they all look the same to me, the little men. So, we move towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
I think Ben Jones is on next. He's already arrived, so don't worry about that. I'm doing the one show on
Are you?
Tuesday. Yeah, my answer's going to be melatonin. When he asks, and now I'm gonna drive off to Cirencester. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the drive. I'll tell you for why. I've got myself some. I've got into the audio book type of, the spoken word. I've got into, and I've got Solaris, the BBC.
Oh, yeah.
I've got all the sci-fis. RUR.
Lovely.
I've got, and I might even throw in Aliens in the Mind, Vincent Price, Peter Cushing. We'll see how long the journey. I'm ready for a jam, should it happen. So I'm excited about that. If you actually enjoy this sort of stuff, that we'll be doing Not the Weekend podcast. That'll be available on Wednesday, which is completely separate from this show. It's just more fun from the joke factory there is, the Frank Skinner Absolute Radio Show. That wasn't me, that was a jingle I just hit there. I don't want to think I'd say anything that crass. So, I think that's all.
Ben Jones isn't here. Where is he?
He is, I just saw him.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
He's hiding.
Yeah, he hasn't shaved today, that crazy rock and roll animal. So thanks very much for listening. We love you all, and you, mate, in witness.
You're listening to Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Trebor Soft Mints, bringing a softer, mintier feel to your Saturday morning.
Absolute Radio.